What's up, you guys? Today we're going to be making a beat from scratch from some vinyl that I got for $1 at the thrift store. Let's do it. Aloha Gang, welcome back to the channel, your #1 spot for studio talk. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you guys are interested in growing your skills as a producer or mixing engineer. And everything that I mention is going to be in the box below.
Oh, what's in the box?
I love going to thrift stores and picking up some vinyl to see if I can find anything that I can sample or just get inspiration from. Check out what I found today. So I got, let's see, I'll show you the actual picture. You guys can see that. I got the Mexicali brass band. I got Kalapana, that's like a 70s Hawaiian band. And then I got this one. It's like a steel drum band that should be pretty cool. But check this out. And I forgot to do this while I was there, so I fucked up. But I got home and I saw the steel drum. I don't know if you guys can see that. The steel drum one's all bent. So I'm not even gonna bother pulling from that one. I think we're gonna go with the Mexicali brass band and see if we can find some samples from that. Watch all the way to the end, stick around all the way till the end because I have a hi-hat tip that's gonna add some major groove makeover to your hi-hats and add some overall spice to your cookup. Let's get it. Here's some samples that I pulled that I thought would be pretty cool in a beat. That was cool. Here's another one. Right? Now we're working in Ableton today, so one thing you want to do when you're chopping up your samples, this is what I do, is I'll come and I'll find the ones and I'll kind of move them onto the grid so the loop has a seamless feel in the groove. Because, you know, a lot of these old vinyls, they're not playing to a metronome, they're just playing to the drummer. So it's not exactly on the grid, you know, which is cool, but when you're working with the samples, you're gonna want to put it onto the grid just to have the loop complete. Right, so we got those three. Finding the tempo, I just kind of did a tap tempo and, you know, you try to line it up to where the metronome. Once you hear the metronome lining up with it, then you know you have the right tempo. Right, so I'm thinking I'm gonna make the main verse out of... This one kind of has a free tempo, so I'm probably going to chop it up and make it onto the grid. Let me see. One really cool feature that I found out, I kind of just stumbled upon it one day, is this convert harmony to new MIDI track. And what that does, it somehow finds the melody and the harmony and all the notes and it kind of puts it into a MIDI track, so then you have the notes and the chordings. And it doesn't work every time. Sometimes if the song has a lot of things going on, then it doesn't pick it up as much, is what I've found. But I did this earlier and it came out really cool. With like, it got like all the chords and the really sweet sounding melody. So I may end up using that. And that's one thing about, if you're weird about using samples just because of the copyright thing, you can use it for inspiration. You know, you can always use it for inspiration. You can get ideas from it. It's just always good to just be inputting yourself with great music, past, present, and just take what you want from it, basically. And if it inspires you and you make something cool out of it, then it worked. Check this out. See, so took that part and it made it into MIDI notes. So I may take out all those, you know, all those kind of random notes and just use the chord. Clean it up. So I'm going to clean that up really quick. Uh-oh. Hopefully I saved it. Where do you guys get your samples? We're using vinyl right now. I also use Splice. I know there's a bunch of other websites to get samples from, but I'd love to hear what you guys are using. Leave a comment down below. All right, let's throw a sample in there now. Let's use like a real sample. Put that on. All right, I think we got something. Let's arrange this. there you guys go. The beat is complete. I'm gonna leave it at the end of the video so you can hear the whole thing in its entirety. But just as I promised, I got a few hi-hat tricks that I want you guys to try out on your next beat. Check it out. Okay, so take a look at the hi-hats here. If you see down at the bottom, what you're gonna do is you're gonna mess with the velocity. And in the hook for this song, I kind of have the velocity vary. I have the velocity vary. So, for example, especially when you're dealing with just the straight 16th notes, I'm gonna take these triplets out. Okay, you hear how it's just the same, it's just hitting the same time. Like, that's not how really a drummer would play it. A drummer would have variation in the velocity. So if you take a look at this one, let me mute these other ones here. It's a subtle difference, but it's going to add a lot of groove to your 16th notes, especially when they're, you know, just a straight thing, one after the other. Vary it up a little bit. So on this one tip you can do is every other hit, you want to do the one up and then the second hit down and then the next hit up and then the next hit down. And you just kind of go back and forth. And what that's going to do is simulate a drummer going. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is you do the first hit up. Mute these. So let's say, let me mute these. So I'm going to exaggerate it so you can tell. So the first hit loud, and then the next three quieter. So let's say you do this. Right? Kind of makes a little groove. As opposed to this one, just kind of straight. Which is cool at times, but then to switch it up, you know, maybe for the hook or maybe for the verse. So that's number two. So mess around with it. You know, you can do any variation you want, but it's going to add a lot more groove, a lot more spice to whatever you're coming up with. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. Fun with vinyl. We only spent a couple dollars at the thrift store and look how far it got us. All we need to do now is record vocals. If you guys don't know how to do that, click on this video right here. It'll get you started. Or in the meantime, you can find me on Instagram. I'd love to collab. I'd love to see what you guys are working on at AlohaAlex. We got a lot more videos coming to you, so make sure you subscribe. I will see you soon. Bye.